Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Sage HR Showcase webinar, where we'll be focusing on the core HR module. My name's Alice, and I'm also joined today by my colleague Duncan. We'll both be presenting the session today and showcasing some of the different features of core HR. So I'll begin with a bit of an introduction. So what is the core HR module and what does it include? We'll then take a look at the employee records and company directory. So you do have a kind of digital employee record on Sage HR, so we'll be taking a bit of a deeper look at that. I'll then be talking about the document storage and announcements feature of core HR. And then it will be time to pass over to Duncan, who's going to be going through some onboarding, so setting up tasks and workflows for new starters, and also payroll integration as well. So of course, you can upload pay slips and things, but there are some other things that you could do, such as syncing the employee data. So we'll take a look at that too. But let's begin with that introduction then. So the core HR module is one of several HR modules available alongside the payslips and P60 functionality in Sage HR. Now, a lot of you may already use the online payslips function if you've got Sage 50 Payroll. This is where you would upload the employees' payslips and they can then log in to see them, and that is included in your subscription. Now, core HR is an additional module kind of on top of that, and it includes features such as document storage, announcements, automated onboarding, and so much more. So we will be going through those today. Now, some of you might already have core HR and you might not be aware that you do. It does depend on your payroll package. You might already have it included in your package, but if not, of course, you would need to subscribe to it. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can check and see if you've got it. Easiest one being, if you log into Sage HR, you can check the left-hand menu and just check if you've got an announcement section and a document section. So they are features of core HR. And as you can see on this screenshot, I've got both of those sections there. That means I do have the core HR module, and those features are switched on by default. Now, if you don't have these features there, that likely means you don't have core HR. So you are able to use the payslips functionality of Sage HR, but not the features that we'll be going through today. But not to worry though, if it is something that you would like a bit more information on by the end of today's session, we will be asking you and kind of getting in touch with more information and prices if that is something that you would like to know. And we've also linked some really great articles throughout the slides too. But that is your introduction. Let's actually start taking a look at some of the features of core HR, and we'll start with the employee records and company directory. So on Sage HR, each employee is going to have their own profile or employee record, and they'll each have a unique email address as well, which they'll use alongside a password as they log into Sage HR. And when they do log in, either online or on the mobile app, they can view their profile. Now, not only is this profile where the payslips and P60s are uploaded to, so they can view and download those, but it also includes the employee's information. So this is things like their address, their employment start date as well, their team, their manager as well, which I'll come back to, and also access to documents too. So that's a kind of sneak peek at what the employee profile looks like. We will be coming back to this. The employee can actually update information themselves on it too, but again, we'll come back to that a little bit later. And for now, we're actually going to focus on the HR admin view and what they can see. So HR admins, they can generally view and edit all of the employees' records, have access to settings, and you can actually choose whether they've got access to payslips and P60s too. But all access can be configured to allow or remove certain things. So you really can configure the access levels to suit your company's needs. So let's actually head to our first demo of the webinar, and I'll be showing you the employee profiles as the HR admin will see them. So this is Sage HR. We can see on the left, we've got these different sections. And notice I do have the announcements and document section. So this means I do have core HR. Now I'm currently logged in as HR admin 2, which I can see just confirmed at the top there. So everything in this demo is what my admin profile will see. Now, an employee, for example, they wouldn't be able to see just as much as this login, but I will be showing you that a bit later. But I'm going to go ahead and click Company, and we can see the employees' profiles here. We've got me and Duncan here too. We are both set up as admins, and then I've got all of the employees in our company too. Now, if I wanted to access an employee's profile, all I would need to do is click on it. So let's open up Amelia, for example. We can see we've got all of the employee information here, and all of these sections on the left too, including personal details, so things like their address, which will have come over from Sage 50 Payroll. We've got document storage, we've got their pay slips and P60s, which we can view and download here. We've got tasks, onboarding, etc. So a lot of sections there. But if I just click back to the employee information for now, this has got things like their name, their position at work, so you can add that in. It's got their work email, so this is what is going to be used as their login. Their employment start date, employment status and things like that. You do also have the option of uploading right to work documents too. But if I keep going down, I can actually see this employee's direct manager and what team they're in too. So you can specify that here, as well as a location. So if you do have multiple offices, for example, you can specify which location this employee is at. Now, Amelia is in my bar and restaurant team, and we can see her manager is Oliver. But if you do need to change their team or manager, one of the options you've got is just choosing these from the drop down. So you can change the manager there, and of course change the team. So if I wanted to swap them over, I could. I can also see that Amelia's access level is set to employee, but you would change that in here if you needed to make them an admin, for example. And then any changes that you do make in here to the employee's record, you just need to click Save at the bottom. Now, something I do want to check in here is actually Amelia's tasks. So I'll click on that section there. Amelia is the only employee, apart from my new starter, who is left to add a profile picture to their account. And we can see I have set up a task for them to do this. It is still outstanding with a deadline of the 29th of November. So once Amelia has finished this task and she's added that profile picture, she'll be able to mark that as complete. But let's go back to a view of all of the employees. You can do that by just clicking Company. And this is actually your company directory. So you'll notice at the top I do have 3 tabs. I've got Directory, Org Chart and Teams. So these each will have a different view of the company structure, and you can edit them as well. So we'll take a look at each of them, and we'll start with the directory. So this is a nice simple view of all of the employees' records. I don't have too many employees in my company, but some handy features if you do have a particularly large company is that you can actually filter this directory view using these filters at the bottom. So that, at the top, so they're like kind of drop-down filters. But this will allow you to view particular teams. So if I wanted to view my hotel team, I can select that there. My bar and restaurant team as well. Or I can actually filter by who's at work, or away, or out of office. And this is according to any leave policies that you've implemented, which you will be finding out a bit more about in our next Sage HR Showcase webinar. But they'll just allow you to kind of quickly find who you need to, and of course you can then go into their profile from there to view or edit anything that you need. Top right of the directory as well, this is where you'll be able to add any new starters, so any new employees, or import them. It just depends how you do things really. But the next time I have a new starter, I could click Add. I could fill in the information in here to create their account, and this new employee could then be imported into Sage 50 Payroll and their details brought across. And Duncan will be going over that payroll integration a little bit later in the webinar. But that's the directory view. Let's also check out the org chart too. Now this is a very different view in here. This is a great way of setting up reporting lines and seeing your company's structure with managers and their subordinates. So let's just zoom in. And we can see I've got Harry Cooper at the top, so this is my hotel manager. And we've then got Ella and Oliver, who are also managers with their subordinates in this structure. Now this is very easy to edit if you do have people moving around or you just need to change where they are. All you would need to do is kind of drag and drop the staff member here and kind of drop them onto the direct manager that they'll report to. So let's take a look at Sophia here, and we'll move her to a new team, which will be Oliver. Another way that you can add or edit the org chart is actually using this little settings icon here too. So you can click on that and kind of change the employee's direct manager. And you do also have a kind of shortcut to their profile too, just using this person icon there. And then of course I'll click save for any changes that I've made. But that is the org chart. Let's also look at teams too. So this is where you can create and assign teams, as many as required for your company, and you can assign managers to the teams too. So as we can see, I've got my bar and restaurant team, and I also have my hotel team too. And if I did need to change anything in here, it is a similar process to the org chart. I would be able to drag and drop the employee and kind of drop them into the team. So let's move Sophia to my bar and restaurant team. And then if you do need to create a team here, just click that button at the top, kind of choose the relevant settings there, including assigning a team manager, a couple of other settings, and then click save. But that was a look at the employee records and the company directory too, in which you can view your company via the directory, the org chart, or the teams tab. So they're each going to show a kind of different way, a different view of the company structure. But that does bring us nicely onto the next section of the webinar, where we're going to be looking at the document storage and the announcements features too. These are both features of core HR, and we'll start with documents. So these can be created and uploaded to Sage HR, and they can be viewed online by people in your business, either online via a browser or the Sage HR mobile app. And a couple of examples of what documents could be used for could be things like staff handbooks, company policies, right to work documentation, employment contracts, the list goes on. There really are so many options and ways that you can use documents to suit your business. But some of the key things to point out with documents are that they can be uploaded and viewed digitally, so no need for loads of paper and printing. Documents can be assigned to relevant teams or employees as required. You can track who's viewed or actioned documents, so this should save you time having to kind of chase employees for things. They can be signed or accepted electronically online as well, and you can specify a due date for this, so the employee knows how long they've got to do that. And this is great nowadays for like remote working or hybrid working. Employees themselves can upload documents, and it also integrates with wider core HR features like onboarding too, which Duncan will be showing a little bit later. But let's dive back into the demo. There are a few documents which I'll need to upload, so I would just like to kind of show you that process. So I'm back on Sage HR. There are a few places where I can upload the documents, one of them being in the employee's profile. So if I just click on Amelia from this Teams tab, again, that's like a little shortcut to the record. I'm going to go on to documents, and in here I can see I've got the options to upload, generate from a template, or create a signable document. And I'm also able to view any existing ones too. Now, first document that I would like to upload is just for Amelia, so I am okay kind of doing this in her profile. And it's actually her updated employment contract. So for this, I am going to create a signable document. And I'm just going to upload this file that I've got. Here it goes. I've got updated contract for Amelia. Kind of attach that file. And then click continue at the bottom. Here I'm able to kind of specify who this document's for, so who needs to sign this document, in which case I'll select Amelia. Now you can add recipients, so if you do want to add Amelia's manager, for example, if they need to sign it as well, you can do so, but I'm just going to go ahead and click continue. From here we then get a view of the document. I'm going to scroll all the way down, and in this case I want to add a kind of signature box in here for Amelia to be able to sign this. I'm just going to make that a small box there and put that on the line. And I'm going to assign this field to Amelia. So Amelia needs to sign this box. I'm also going to add a date box just next to it. And again, assign that to Amelia. And click continue. You do also have options for initials or free text too. I can then add a message. So I'm just going to let Amelia know that I'd like her to sign this contract by the 8th of December. So I'll add that message in. That will appear on an email for Amelia. And I can specify the kind of due date for that, which is going to be the 8th of December. And then all I'll need to do is click send document. There we go. So that's Amelia's document ready for her to sign. She'll receive an email notifying her of this, and she will be able to log in online and sign this. Now, speaking of Amelia, I would actually like to show you what she'll be able to see on her profile. So if I bring up the employees portal, this is what they'll see on Sage HR as an employee, and we are logged in as Amelia. So we're just on Amelia's dashboard at the moment. She's logged in and she just wants to kind of check her tasks and documents, as of course she did get an email informing her of them. So on her dashboard straight away we can see that she needs to upload a profile picture. So she can go ahead and go to her profile and upload a new image. And then just save it. And just like that, that's that task complete. So we'll go back to the dashboard and mark that as complete. And she can also see that I've uploaded a document and asked her to review and sign this. So she can go ahead to her profile again and go to documents. Or straight from the dashboard, she can actually just click view document. So a couple of ways that she can access this. This will open it up for her. Nice clear view on here. And if we keep scrolling down, we can see it is kind of flagged on the left-hand side where kind of action is needed. So where Amelia needs to sign in this case. So I can click to sign, do a very terrible signature. You do have the options to upload or type it as well. You'll just click sign. And then Amelia would just add in a date. So we'll just pop in today's date and click save. And now that we've completed those fields, we can see 2 of 2 fields completed, and we can click submit. So it really is that easy for employees to review and sign things online. And again, it will save paper and save time. But that's what our employee Amelia will see. I did just want to show you kind of what it would look like for the employee to sign that document. Let's now close Amelia's portal and we'll go back to my admin view. So just to kind of show you that refreshing as well, I would like to go back to Amelia's documents. So we'll go back to my company view. We can see Amelia's profile pictures now updated there. Click into her profile and documents, and I can see I now have a section for signable documents, and I can see the updated contract and the status is signed. So straight away that's updated off the back of her completing that task. Now there's still one more document that I would like to upload. This time it's going to be for all of my employees. So I'm just going to go to the document section on the left of Sage HR, where I'll be able to upload another document. It's going to be an updated absence policy. I'll just attach that file. I can add a description if I'd like to. Select a category, so if there's a particular thing that it's for. And I can specify who it's for too. Now this one's actually for everyone, so I'm just going to select everyone. And notice I do have a tick box which will require the employee to accept the documents. So I do want them to kind of read and acknowledge that they've read it. I don't want it to just, exist on their profile. So I am going to require them to accept that by the 8th of December. And then I'll just click upload. Perfect. So now each employee has this document on their profile, and they will each have a task on their dashboard to review and accept this. And we will see Amelia doing this on the mobile app very shortly. But that was a look at the document storage in Core HR. So many different ways that you can use this. Really, really handy feature, and scenarios that you can use it for. But while we're on the slides, another feature to mention is announcements. So announcements in Sage HR are a communication channel to help you share important news and any events going on in your company. The best way to think of it really is like a digital notice board. So again, this is really great for companies with multiple locations or remote workers. They can still be kept in the loop about, company news and any events coming up. And you can create an announcement for everyone in your company or specific employees or teams. They can be viewed online or on the Sage HR mobile app. And I will show you that once we've created one. So let's go ahead and create an announcement for everyone. Nice and quick to do so. I'm going to go ahead to the announcements section. We can see I do have one from back in January, but I'm going to go ahead and click add announcement. Just going to give it a title. So we actually have a festive bake-off coming up for everyone. So I'll add that title there and just type in some details. So ready, set, bake. We've got an annual festive bake-off on Wednesday the 4th of December. Some great prizes up for grabs. And I'm just letting everyone know that if they would like to take part, to email Oliver Hartley. We've got the author, which is my admin profile. We can select a topic. So in this case, it'll be an event. And if you do want to attach an image, for example, just to kind of grab people's attention, you absolutely can. So I'm going to add a nice festive photo there. And I can go ahead and select the audience from there. You can preview it if you wish as well, or save as a draft. Lots of options there. But this is going to be for everyone, so I'll leave that selected. And you do have the option of sending an email notification about the announcement. So I'll select that and go ahead and click publish. And this means that this announcement will be there for all of the employees to view online or on the app. Now, announcements, of course, can be used for a whole variety of things, anything that you do want to kind of share about upcoming things. But before I do pass you over to Duncan to take you through some more of the features of Core HR, I would like to show you a quick video that I've made of the mobile app for the employee, particularly Amelia. I'm just giving you a bit more insight into what the employee can see, including this new announcement. So let me play this video for you. It's only a few minutes long, and I'll be right back to pass you over to Duncan. Great, that's just me back again. So that was a little bit of a video on the mobile app for Amelia, her viewing and reacting to the announcement that we made, accepting the new absence policy document, and showing you that employees are also able to keep their own details up to date too. But it is now time to pass over to Duncan, who's going to be taking you through the rest of the features today, including onboarding. So it's over to you, Duncan.
Thank you so much, Alice, and thanks for those demos on some of the best bits of core HR. So I'm going to take over and tell you a little bit more about the onboarding features that you'd use for new starters, just to give them that consistent experience, put together a checklist of tasks they'll need to complete, just to make sure that they don't miss out on anything important. So I will give you a demo of this from the perspective of an HR admin and the employee being onboarded themselves. But just to explain kind of how it works, onboarding is a series of tasks that you would set for a new recruit. And if they have at least one active onboarding task, they will have an onboarding area in their profile, which will help them keep them on track as they start to get to grips with the HR system. So when you create your tasks, you'll be able to assign it either to the employee themselves or someone else involved in their onboarding. And you'll be able to pick out fields from the existing record and from the system to sort of personalize that task for them. Now, the tasks can be assigned in isolation, or they can be put together to create what we call a workflow. So then you do have that consistent checklist of tasks, and they can be connected to each other. So one can rely on another being completed before that becomes active. So let me show you an example of how this has been set up. If I just bring my slides down. We're going to start here on the admin view. So I'm signed in as an HR admin, which means I have access to the settings. And if I just click on my username at the top here and come down to the settings, you'll see that we have an area here on the left-hand side all around onboarding. So from here, I can create tasks, I can put them into categories, I can create workflows, and there are also some automation features. But we're going to focus mainly on the tasks and workflows for today's demo. So here are some of the onboarding tasks I've already set up. So these are typical things that an employee would do when they first join the business. So we've got one here for the employee. On their first day, we like to give them a tour of the hotel. So if I just edit this task to show you how it's been set up, we've given it a title. We've customized that with the employee's start date, which I've picked from the fields here. We have a description of what they would need to do. We've included a map in this example with a linked URL, so you can go to, you can direct them to other websites if needs be. And this one's going to be assigned to the employee themselves, assigned on their start date to be completed within the first day. Now, when you're setting when the task should be assigned, it is possible to put a negative value here. So if you had managers, for example, involved in the onboarding, you could set a task to start and appear on their dashboard before the employee's actual start date, as long as the employee has been set up in HR. Now, this one has been added to a workflow, which we'll look at in a bit more detail in a few moments. But I'm just going to cancel out of this one and just show you another example of a task here that we're going to set up for the employee's direct manager. So for this one, much the same setup, but it's been assigned by default to the employee's direct manager. This one, we're given a deadline of 14 days to arrange a company induction for the next available session. And I also have a task which requires an attachment. So we like our new starters to just provide a copy of their identity document in the system. So we're asking them to upload it. And if we tick require attachment, it means that they will need to upload a document in order to complete this task. So any of these could be added individually to an employee, but we've put them together as a workflow. So looking at my settings, I've just got the one for today's demo, which contains 6 tasks. I've got the 3 that we've already mentioned, so the hotel tour, uploading the identity document, and the company induction to be arranged by the manager. But we also have 3 kind of connected tasks which rely on the previous one being completed. So the way that this works is we're going to ask the new recruit to add their vehicle details if they need to park on site. We've then clicked the plus sign, which means once that task is completed, we then have a specific employee who's going to be asked to issue a parking permit. And then once that has been done, another task will be sent to the employee to tell them to pick up their parking permit. So an example of how that can all be linked together with different employees involved. Now, in order to assign any tasks or workflows to a new starter, you would need to access their profile. So admins will be able to do this, and any kind of direct managers or team managers would usually have permissions to add onboarding tasks. So this is the profile for my new recruit, Sophia. And if I go straight to the onboarding area, just here on the left-hand side, this is where I can add a workflow or a task. So I can pick any of the tasks that already exist, or I can create a new one directly from here. But I'm going to do it as a workflow so I don't forget anything. So I'm going to select that one that I've just shown you. I'll click onto next, and you'll then see that the tasks have been assigned. So you can make changes here. So the date assigned and the due dates, for example, but it's picked up this. So this is direct manager for Sophia. This was a specific employee, and these due dates are all worked around the employee's start date and the number of days following that. So I'm happy with all of these. I'm going to add them to Sophia's profile. Once you've done that, you can see any outstanding or completed tasks. So this is visible here on the employee's record, including who they are assigned to. Now, what I want to show you next is Sophia's profile. So I'm just going to bring that onto my screen now. So I'm now signed in as Sophia. She got a welcome email when we set her up in the system. And on the dashboard, you'll see straight away that we've got some onboarding tasks. So these are the details of the active tasks that need to be completed, as well as the absence policy that you saw Alice share earlier. Now, as well as on the dashboard, these tasks can also be found within your onboarding. So this is the personalized onboarding journey for your new starter. So we're welcoming Sophia to our business. That's her start date. Got useful resources such as the team and direct manager. And a few things to get started on the system. We're asking them to upload a picture and to check and fill in any missing personal information. A few useful links here on the right-hand side as well, but if I keep scrolling down, this is where we find that onboarding checklist, and you get an idea of the progress through the checklist as the tasks are completed. So this was our hotel tour. We had a link to the map if we needed it. We've actually completed that now, so I'm going to mark it as complete, just here. We're being asked to add our vehicle details. So I've actually set this up as a custom field on the personal tab in the HR profile. So we've got the instructions here. We can go to the profile, check the personal tab. If I scroll to the bottom, I have actually already entered my vehicle registration number. So as soon as I complete this task, that will then generate a new task for the person that deals with the parking permits, which is the hotel manager. And then let's do this one as well, uploading an identity document. So this one requires an attachment. So when we click on to complete, we can't actually complete it until we've chosen a file. So I actually have a copy of the passport just here. I would then click on to complete. And those are my 3 active tasks now completed. Now, there could be tasks that are coming up in the future, but let's just take a look at Sophia's manager's dashboard. So I'll just bring that onto screen now. So one of the onboarding tasks was assigned to the manager, the direct manager, which was Oliver in this case. So we're being told to book a place on the next available company induction after the start date. I've already done that. So again, I'm going to mark that as complete. Now, just switching back to the admin view again, where we started off. if I just refresh this page, the onboarding tasks have now updated. So we've got a task to create that parking permit, and then we'll tell Sophia when that's done. We can see the 4 that are completed as well, but you also get visibility of this from the reports. So as an admin user or as a manager that has access to this report, you can go into your reports area and then onboarding. Admins get an overview of all staff that are onboarding currently. And then looking at the specific tasks, we can choose a particular employee if we need to, or team or location. We can see what's upcoming, what's active. It's all to do with the parking. And we can see that everything's on track here and these tasks have been completed. So that is just a quick look at onboarding, tasks and workflows. So what we've seen there is you can create individual tasks, you can put them together as a workflow, which can have connected tasks that rely on one another. Once assigned to a new starter, they have their own dedicated onboarding section within their profile. So they get that tab at the top for your onboarding with their personalized onboarding journey, and it enables them to keep track of any active, completed or future onboarding tasks. And then last thing we saw there is there are reports available to help you track all of the employees currently onboarding, making sure everything is on track or if anything is overdue. So you can filter that report by employee, team, or location. Now, moving away from onboarding, we're going to finish the demo today with a quick look at the payroll integration with Sage 50 Payroll. Now, there is also similar integration available for Sage Payroll that you access through a browser, but we are going to focus on Sage 50 today. And as Alice alluded to earlier, as well as uploading payslips and P60s, there is a bit more integration that can happen between your payroll software and Sage HR, as it is possible to sync employee data with Sage HR, as well as upload those payslips and P60s. Now, good habit to get into if you've integrated Sage 50 Payroll with HR is to run the import employee data option at the start of each pay run, because that's going to tell you about any changes to personal details that have been made in HR that you can import into payroll. It's also possible to set up new employees in HR first and then import their details to create an employee record in payroll. And if you terminate an employee, you'll be able to import their leaving date once you've completed their final pay run. So super important task to complete at the start of your pay run. And then once you've entered all the payments, at the point you would usually print or email payslips, you now have the option of uploading them. So employees would get an email notification once they're available to be viewed. And if they're using the mobile app, they also get a push message. So I've highlighted there where in the process you would use the integration, but let's give you a bit of a demo on this as well. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch to Sage 50 Payroll. Now I'm currently processing my November pay run. And if I switch on the process map, you'll see that I do have an option to import employee data just at the start of the process, and it's the second task here in the payroll list as well. So when you click onto this option, it will prompt you to take a backup. So if you don't already have one, I would recommend you do that now. It's then going to check with Sage HR to see if there are any pending changes that we can import. And then if there are, you'll see a notification either as a new starter record, a leaver, that's an employee who has been terminated in HR, or in this case, an update for an existing employee. So because we have one of these, I'm going to click onto the tile for employee updates. You can see it's for Amelia, right? So there's been a change. And clicking on this more icon, we can actually see that it's the address that's changed. Amelia has moved house. And what we can then do is import this change to our payroll. I'm going to click yes to continue. And that will update the address in the employee record. So that has now been done. and everything should show that it's up to date once it refreshes. There we go, we're all up to date. And if I take a look in Amelia's payroll record, you can see that the new address now appears here. Now, the employee sync works the other way as well. If you make a change in your payroll records, the next time you upload payslips, those changes will be fed through to Sage HR. So that's how you would change things like the employee's surname. If they get married, for example, if they change that, you can change it in your payroll records. And on the next payslip upload, that's when that change will be pushed to HR. So a quick reminder of where this all fits into the payroll process. Importing the employee data is generally done at the start of the process, or you can run that again if you've completed the final pay run for someone that has been terminated in HR. And that way you can import the leaving date. And then uploading the payslips is done at the same time as your pre-update reports. So we saw that if there is information to import, you would click on the relevant tile. You'll be shown the details that you can drill down into. And if there are any kind of formatting issues that you want to correct, you can do that. And then if you're happy with the information you're importing, you just go ahead and import it into Payroll. Uploading payslips is the next demo I'll show you. So let's just bring that back down again. And we'll kind of move on through our pay run to the upload payslip step. So I've already entered everyone's payments for this month, and I've checked the pay values. I've got an upload payslip step in the process map here and also in the tasks. So once you do this, it just takes a few clicks where it will confirm which employees are set up for online services, their gross and net pay values. And then you've got a choice. You can either publish these documents immediately, so the employee get the notification email and they'll be able to view it straight away, or more likely, you would publish it on a selected date in the future, closer to pay date. So I'm actually going to make these available on Friday, the 29th of November. You then click Publish Payslips. And those payslips are then sent to the HR portal. These have now been scheduled. So they're in the portal, but they're not available to our employees just yet. And if I just go back to my admin view and click the payslips area on the left-hand side. So I'm an admin that has access to payslips. We can see that we now have pending payslips for our November pay date. The details can be viewed on screen like so. And what the employee would see, if I just bring up an employee profile, is they would see their own payslips and P60s. This is one of our managers. But these only go up to the last date that they were published. So Oliver can see his payslips up to October, and come the 29th of November, he'll then see his November payslip because that's the date that I've chosen to publish it. So they can view the same information on screen, can download these documents as a PDF, also have access to any P60s that you may have uploaded as part of the year-end process. So that's the other half of the payroll integration, uploading the payslips and P60s. And you can read more about that process if you follow the link down there on screen. So that has now brought us to the end of the presentation, but we do have some time left, so we're going to stick around to continue answering your questions in the Q&A. We'll do our best to get through as many questions as possible. It has been really busy in there, so thank you for your patience on that. Just to let you know where you can find some further support in terms of webinars, we do have some upcoming webinars you may be interested in. So we have an HR advice webinar with our special guests from HR Advisor Plus, who are running through the do's and don'ts for a successful Christmas party season. That was on the 3rd of December. Sounds a really interesting session, that one. So if you're available to come along to that one, come and pick up some practical advice on that. And Sage 50 payroll users, we have a number of sessions coming up in this month and next. So get your payroll done month-end tasks. And also our festive payroll series with tips on your seasonal pay run and some other related topics. So to find out more on our webinars, head to the website sage.co.uk/webinars. We do as well have an area in Sage University, or Sage U, dedicated to Sage HR. So you can create a free profile at sageu.com. And when you find your way to the Sage HR area, there's learning on getting started, the various modules in HR, some additional topics, and the employee welcome pack. So do check that out. That is free of charge to access. Hi again, everyone. Thank you so much for sending the questions through. We're just tackling the last couple that have just popped in there. Big thanks to the team behind the scenes answering those questions. You've certainly kept them busy today. As we are nearly out of time, I'd just like to take this final opportunity to thank you for joining us at the webinar today. I do hope you found it useful and you've enjoyed attending. Our next one will be on the leave management module, so look out for more details on the usual channels. We will also send you a follow-up email after today's webinar, which will include a link to watch the recording of the session if there's anything that you missed that you'd like to watch again. But with that said, we're going to say goodbye from this end. So on behalf of myself and Alice, it is goodbye for now, and we'll hopefully see you on the next one.